'cause I am the queen.
Hey guys, welcome back to another book rent session. Today we're going to be talking about Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Read this book a while ago. It is about a girl named Kaya. She lives in a marsh, and someone dies basically, and the whole town thinks that it was her because she's a loner, and they don't know much about her. And they kind of just automatically assume because his body was kind of also found in an area of the marsh, so they just assume it was her. But that's basically the gist of what this is about. It's considered a coming of age story. It's actually really sweet. I actually really liked it. It took me a minute in the beginning to kind of get into it. It goes back and forth with the time lapses. Like there's present and then there's past, and like it does have dates in it. And it took me a minute to kind of get the flow. It was a little bit slow for me, but as I kept reading the story, it got pretty interesting. Her family leaves her in the beginning, which I thought they were gonna come back for her. Apparently they didn't. They kind of slowly but surely, mom left, sister left, other sister left, brother left. I thought they were gonna come back for her. I'm pretty sure at some point they said they would come back, but they needed to leave. But I'm just like, one of somebody could have taken her with them instead of leaving her with the dad who was a drunk and kind of abusive. But that's besides the point. But they left. It's okay. Also, she had Tate leave her, Tate was one of her brother's best friend. He also left after a while, but he didn't leave her until like later. I think he went to college or he did something, but he left for a little bit as well. The town tries to help her. In my opinion, they should have just taken her, like, found a new family, like a foster family. Like, usually in those situations, if the kid's not in a bad position, they put them in another foster family. They didn't do that. They tried to put her in school. I think she went for like one day, which I get it. And then they tried nothing else, really. Social services was involved for a little bit. Tried school, tried to talk to her. They really didn't do much, honestly. And then after a while, they just gave up. Okay, this was also the 60s. I don't know how they handled things like that in the 60s. Don't know how realistic it is. But that's not the point of the story. She lived in the marsh. She grew up. She basically took care of herself. They give you a little bit of, insight. Her background growing up. She grows up in the marsh. She's to herself. She doesn't go into town besides the bare essentials. But, that's besides that. But it gets to, one of the main characters, Chase, the person that dies. He's found dead. They don't know what to do. They don't know who did it. They got to find it. He was found in a part of the marsh, so they immediately assume it was her. Okay. Now, the thing is, Kai and Chase were in a relationship. It was an interesting relationship. To me, he did not care about her. Okay, I could clearly tell this boy didn't really care. She was the shut-in. They called her the marsh girl. Like, she wasn't popular. People didn't really want to be around her. I feel like he treated her as some type of accomplishment. Like, oh, I am different and she's different. Like, I don't know. I just don't. The whole relationship, like, it taught Kaya some things, but Chase was not a good person. Everybody knew that. No one liked him. He had so many issues. Even when they started the investigation, a lot of people had problems with that boy because he was not a good person. He didn't even have the decency to properly break up with her. He just stopped showing up, went and got engaged to somebody, and didn't say anything. She found out from the newspaper. Like, you think she's not a woman scorned can be the worst revenge, okay? You don't even have the decency to break up with me. You just go and get engaged, and then don't say anything, and then try to justify yourself. No, there's no justification. You knew what was going on. You know who I am. You used me. No, I don't think so. That whole relationship, seemed good in the beginning, but then you kind of get some other insight of who Chase was. He didn't really care. Some of the things he seemed like he forced her into, in my opinion. Like, he kind of coerced her into something she might not have been ready for, but she went along with it because she didn't have a lot of role models. She didn't know what to do. She was on her own. Her dad wasn't very much help. I mean, he half knew what she was even doing, if he was even around. And it was just the whole thing. And that whole investigation and trial was a hot mess. They wanted it to be Kaya so bad that they didn't properly investigate certain things and look at different angles that, hey, maybe it's not her. Because all their evidence was, oh, you have his hat. There's found hair on a piece of his clothing. Like, he wasn't wearing it, but he found like a piece of his clothing. Like, why do you have this? They were in a relationship. Like, the relationship, she still had some of his stuff. Her hair was still on some of his clothes from before. Like, they weren't thinking. And then they tried to be like, oh, well, you weren't really out of town. Because she went out of town when the murder happened. That's the thing. She was out of town at some convention writer thing. I don't even remember exactly what it was. But she wasn't even in town. They had like a boat. Oh, someone saw you on the bus. Someone saw you on the boat. That's not what happened. Even the witnesses were like, I don't know who's on that boat. I don't know who's actually on the bus. I saw a person, but I couldn't guarantee you that it was her. They never actually saw faces, okay? And the boat was at night. Do you know how many people riding around with the boats? Like, they were even like, the witnesses literally were like, we cannot guarantee that it was her. The only thing we know is we saw a boat with a person in it. Cannot guarantee that it was Kaya. Y'all just wanted it to be her so bad. Look at different angles. A lot of people hated this boy, okay? A lot of people. Like, girls, men. He did bad things, okay? A lot of people had a reason to want him dead and want him gone. But y'all were so busy focused on this girl who y'all didn't even know nothing about. She just wasn't social. That was your whole case. And guess what? She went off scot-free because you didn't have any actual case. You didn't have any actual evidence. And I don't know if this is true or not, but according to the book, because she was tried once for murder, she can be tried again. I have no idea if that's true. It could be true. I don't know. It might have been true back then. It could be true now. I have no idea. But either way, she gets off scot-free because y'all didn't do your jobs correctly. Y'all knew people had problems with him. Y'all didn't question. Y'all think that she's the only person. The thing is, the area of the marsh that he was found in, other people can end up there. You want to know why? Because his body was found by a group of kids that were playing over in that area. They were playing over there. He fell off of some tower thing. They don't use it, but it's not like deep in the marsh. It's like more of on the outskirts of it. And like, he fell off. Some kids found it because they were playing in the area. So you don't think other people know about it? And they probably, hey, maybe someone else brought him up there thinking, oh, well, why was he out there? You ever think of that? You ever think of maybe why that boy was out there in the first place? I don't know. But it was a hot mess. I mean, it was implied she killed him, which I wouldn't blame her if she did. He wasn't a good person. He used her. We know she killed him. We know she did it. This is basically, she got away with murder, which no one's complaining. He deserved it. But it was never explicitly said that she did it. It's kind of more implied because just the circumstances. And at the end of Tate finding like some stuff that she had hid of his, like it's some necklace he was supposed to have or whatever. But either way, we know she did it. She got revenge. She did what she needed to do. She did what she needed to do, okay? But she did end up with Tate. I can't say that. Tate came back, which was a good ending because they were very good together. He left for, I honestly think it was college. I think he left to go to college or something like that. And after he was done with his college and his research or whatever, because he also like worked with marine life and like the type of stuff that's in the marsh, he came back. And they're together. They lived happy ever after. They grew old together. She died on her boat. It's honestly a good book. I can say that. It is honestly a very good book. There is a movie on it. I have not seen the movie. I probably will at some point, but I recommend it. It gets kind of, to me, at first I felt like it was kind of based off a true story. But I know it's not, but that's the vibes I was feeling at the beginning because it seemed just that way. But it is a good book. It is a very, she comes into herself, she learns about herself. She's a lot smarter than people think she is. And I do recommend it if that's the type of books that you like. I don't know the genre of it, to be honest. I couldn't tell you. It's described as a coming of age type story. Yeah, and I don't know the genre of it, but fiction, murder, thriller. I don't even want to call it a thriller, but there is murder, there's investigation. If you like that, I'd read it. But I hope you enjoyed that little book rant, the disorganization. I tried to be a little bit more organized. I'm trying to structure my thoughts a little bit better. Let's see how it's working out. I don't know. But if you have any recommendations, I'm always taking them. And I will see you guys next time.